Caitlin Clark herself of the WNBA. Let's get to the WNBA and this sensational rookie from the Indiana Fever who continues to be box office. Clark and the Fever currently lead the WNBA in average game attendance and per game TV viewership. But despite the attendance and viewership records, there seems to be some haterade in the league in regards to Clark, starting with WNBA legend Sheryl Swoopes herself. She recently spoke on her podcast, Queens of the Court, and didn't mention the rookie when speaking of Indiana's rise in the standings. Here's what Sheryl Swoopes had to say. Look at this quote here. I think the Olympic break really helped Indiana. I'm going to shout out to Lexi Hull. I'm a big Lexi Hull fan. Lexi Hull shot the leather off the ball in their game against Seattle. Kelsey Mitchell is just stroking. She's just shooting the basketball. Aaliyah Boston, almost a triple-double. If Indiana continues to play the way they're playing like this, they too are going to move up in the standings, end quote. So no, Caitlin Clark. Sheryl Swoopes. No, Caitlin Clark. Respectfully, Sheryl Swoopes, you have any idea how that makes you look? You have any idea how that serves to stain any kind of critique of Caitlin Clark, because that gives fodder to those who believe she's being hated on and ostracized to some degree? Do you realize that, Sheryl Swoopes, you're insane to do that? Let me tell you why you're insane to do that. Because Sheryl Swoopes, you're one of the greatest players ever in the history of basketball. That's why. See, you won a championship in college at Texas Tech. You won 3 Olympic gold medals. You won 4 WNBA championships. You know basketball. You know basketball better than me. You know basketball than any of the pundits. You know basketball better than most of the men that play basketball. There is no way in hell you just accidentally left Caitlin Clark's name out of that soliloquy that you dropped about the Indiana Fever. Stop it. You know that. Stop it. And then y'all wonder what happened. See, remember when I was on the air on ESPN and I got into it with Monica McNutt? Stephen A., I'm talking to you, Stephen A., if you had promoted the WNBA more, if you had talked about it more, they would have played more games. Like I had the power to go up to ESPN and say, directors and producers and cameramen and everybody else flocked to the WNBA at the time when it wasn't nearly as popular as it was today. That's what Monica McNutt accused me of, but it's okay. It's just a disagreement. See, y'all act like there's some buzz and there's a problem. No, it's a debate show. She has her opinion. I have mine. I happen to believe she was wrong. I happen to believe I was right. And I happen to believe the facts have shown that I was right. How was the attendance for Team USA in the Olympics? What would it have been like if Caitlin Clark was playing on that team? Remember the first game? Look at this right here. National broadcast viewership. What are we talking about here? 1,000, what is that? 1.219? Is that the number? And the game afterwards got 485,000 views. So the Fever in their game against the Minnesota Lynx was 1.219 million. On Ion. On Ion! The follow game didn't even get half the ratings. Go ahead and look. Everywhere you turn, Indiana Fever is breaking records. All Sheryl Swoopes did was validate all the speculation that there's folks hating on Caitlin Clark. That's all she did. Because to know basketball like Sheryl Swoopes does, to be as accomplished as she is, to be the Hall of Famer that she is, all accolades that are well-deserved. And I'm certainly not attacking Sheryl Swoopes the person, because I think she's a wonderful person. She's certainly always been nothing but class and nice to me. I'm only addressing a point. How do you talk about the Indiana Fever and mention a multitude of players, and now one of them is Caitlin Clark, who, by the way, as a rookie, is leading the league in assists? How do you do that? How do you do that? I told y'all that. I've argued with the great Andrea Carter, outstanding analyst for ESPN, right here on this podcast. I've argued with Janae Ogumake, who's an outstanding basketball analyst. The two of them together, oh my God, that's an A team. No doubt about it. Nothing but love for both of them. And Monica McNutt, one of the preeminent voices of the New York Knicks, and what she's doing with her career. They know they got my support, all love. But I'm waiting for you to say I was right. Caitlin Clark can ball. She should have been on Team USA because you needed the marketing buzz. I didn't say she was better than all 12 players that were on the team instead of her. Even though when they almost lost to France, I was getting nervous. Diana Taurasi wasn't on the court. I said, you need somebody that could shoot. And then Copper showed up and was doing her thing, and Elgia Wilson did her thing, and I was good. But what I'm saying is, if you remember, their first game, they had about 13,000 fans. Somebody else had 15. Everybody else had over 20,000 plus. You think that would happen if Caitlin Clark was on that team? You think that would happen if Angel Reese was on that team? But especially Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is coming. Some people think she's already arrived. I don't. I think she's going to be even better. And I think that what she has done for women's basketball, especially in this country, has been phenomenal. There is no woman, no matter how great you were as a player, Sheryl Swoopes, there is no woman who should negate mentioning Caitlin Clark and what Caitlin Clark is doing for the game. I know the Monica McNutts and others were getting very, very frustrated at all of the buzz that was going in her direction, not to hate on Caitlin Clark in any way, because I'm sure Monica McNutt does not feel that way. She just knows that there were people on the ground pounding the pavement that were doing so much for women's basketball everywhere that deserved their praise. She was absolutely right in saying that. We don't disagree, but that's utopia. Reality is it didn't happen to this level until Caitlin Clark showed up. Call it the Great White Hope. Call it white being right. Call it whatever you want. See, I'm a person that doesn't, I recognize that reality, but I don't resent it. I figure out ways to do it to my advantage. I ain't apologize for that, Wes. I ain't apologize for that, Griff. I ain't apologize for that, Galen. I ain't apologize for nothing. There are people in our industry who happen to be white that got paid. I ain't mad at them. I'm grateful to them. Thank you for setting the stage. Hell yeah. Ain't hate. Rising tide lifts all boats. Whatever it takes for everybody to get fed, I'm all for it. You a WNBA player? Caitlin Clark gonna get you paid. I'd figure out a way to be her friend. Or her friend of me. That's what Angel Reese has done. Angel Reese could play. She was doing good things at LSU. Do y'all notice when she became relevant? When she was waving her hand over her face, mimicking what Caitlin Clark was doing to the competition before she ran into LSU and got bum rushed in the Final Four. That's what made Angel Reese popular en route to LSU winning the national championship a couple of years ago in women's college basketball. And then we watched Angel Reese and her popularity elevate along with her NIL money and beyond. And we paid attention to her. And then Caitlin Clark took her out. But we still remembered. And then Dawn Staley in South Carolina came along and said, Caitlin Clark, we love you. We appreciate you. We're going to send you home with this L. And in the post-game celebration on the podium accepting the national championship trophy, what did Dawn Staley do? Celebrated Caitlin Clark. Because she's smart.
And I just want to chime in. You know, I've been talking about this a lot when it comes to being relevant in the WNBA right now, there's certain things you got to do. And I'm not saying it's the right thing. But what Angel Reese has done when it comes to Caitlin Clark, kind of being on the enemy side, you know, playing that role back and forth, that gives headline, that gives storyline, that gives spark. So now when they play each other, everybody's going to want to watch that because Caitlin Clark's fan base is on one and Angel Reese's fan base is on one. They're like, okay, Angel Reese is the rookie, Caitlin Clark is the rookie. So that's how these two, there's so much headline topic. And to be honest, Angel Reese is in that rookie of the year race. Yeah, she's playing great. I mean, not offensively, but rebounding. Yes, she's having the rebounds. But me personally, I already gave this take. If Brink wasn't hurt, Brink would probably be runner up when it comes to rookie of the year. Then you got there's another rookie, Jackson. She's pretty good too. But you know, obviously, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark have the two highest names when it comes to the rookie class because they have so much history back and forth. There's so much headline, so much topic. So everybody's analyzing both. You get that? Now, as far as everything else he's talking about, of course, you know, Sheryl Swoopes, you're blowing a huge marketing opportunity for yourself. If anything, well, she's getting just anything she swoops. You see how much every look, listen. You see how Swoopes is in everyone's name? When's the last time we talked about Sheryl Swoopes before Caitlin Clark entered the chat? When is the last time we talked about Sheryl Swoopes before Caitlin Clark entered the chat? I will wait. No discredit to Sheryl Swoopes. I'm sure you were a legend. You started off the game. You know, you did great things, but you're not Caitlin Clark. And I've seen you hate plenty of times, and I understand we're in a new age, we're in media and things like that. You can, I'd be like, okay, bro, if I had all the media and all this stuff when I was 7, 8 years old, I'd be in the NBA. I mean, I'd be in the NFL or MLB right now. So I'm going to hate on all the kids who are getting easy scholarships and all this stuff because scouts don't go out anymore. It's all media. It's all scouting report. For those that don't know, that's why social media is so important. So you got to understand something. Like, for me, I'm not going to be like, oh man, y'all getting these easy ass scholarships. Y'all not even that good. Like y'all can make yourself look good on camera. No, I'm embracing it. I'm embracing the media. I'm embracing everything that has to come with it. Who would I be to just be hating on someone because they're getting an easy scholarship because of media? You know what I'm saying? So Swoopes, you got to understand, your name has been so relevant because of Caitlin Clark. And I'm not saying it's positive. It's all negative. But at the end of the day, guess what? Your name is being talked about. So you get what I'm kind of saying? Some of these analysts are saying, like, if you want to be relevant in the WNBA, you better, you know what I mean, either be friends with Caitlin Clark or try to do something to gauge a headline with Caitlin Clark. Because at this very moment, Caitlin Clark is the only girl moving the needle to the standard where it needs to be when it comes to a business aspect. So that's kind of what is going on with this whole situation. Everybody's talking about how are we gonna grow the WNBA if Caitlin Clark wasn't relevant. And then Sheryl Swoopes, another thing, like Stephen A. Said, I'm gonna touch on it. You being the great basketball player legend that you are, how are you gonna sit there and not mention Caitlin Clark's name? It's like, are you trying to hurt your brand? Are you trying to hurt your business? Or do you like she must like the negative comments and everything. So she must think that's what it is. She must be trolling. Because how are you sitting there not mentioning Caitlin Clark's name, but you're going to sit there and mention Angel Reese's rebounds after they took a 20-point loss? But you can't mention the rookie who just beat the Mercury and the Storm, two of the top 5 teams in the league, behind rookie, I was going to say rookie of the year, pretty much rookie of the year, but Caitlin Clark running the show as the point guard, leading the way, running the pace. So I'm a little shocked on that as well. So at this point, I feel like it could either be hurting her brand or it could be helping. Maybe she's getting views on her podcast because Stephen A. at the beginning of the show, I don't know why, but he had the urge to mention the full name of Sheryl Swoopes' podcast, which I won't mention it. But, publicity is publicity. So there's mixed emotions with this whole situation. I don't think Sheryl Swoopes should be hating on Caitlin Clark. I think it's completely wrong. I think it has to do with her skin complexity. I just think that it's a little wrong, because if she was black, I feel like, Sheryl Swoopes would be rooting for her, because I've heard Sheryl Swoopes say on Gil's Arena, on his platform, well, if I'm going to be on a platform like yours, Gil, and I have the opportunity, me being a black woman, I'm going to speak up for women that look like me. So you're just going to disregard basketball skills, talent, and you're just going to speak up for the girls of your color and say whatever you think is necessary for them. But not Caitlin Clark, because she's white. That's kind of what I got out of the whole situation. I'm going to let Stephen A finish off, and I'm going to get you guys out of here.
What did Angel Reese do this year? With all the talk about Caitlin Clark, what does she do? She goes out on the court, she competes against her, and then suddenly they're teammates in the All-Star game, and they get long and slapping high fives when Caitlin Clark delivers an assist to her or something along that line, and everything's cool. Because Angel Reese figured it out. She said, there's a way for me to be the meal ticket too. If I have to use her to help me do it, okay. Because Angel Reese's game clearly is good enough. Her personality clearly is sensational enough. The issue is she wasn't running from it. She embraced it. Sheryl Swoopes, take notes. You ain't playing no more. But you're a Hall of Famer and a champion and a basketball savant. You know good and damn well you had no business talking about the Indiana Fever.
None at all. So, we're going to end it off right there with Stephen A. Smith, just finishing that right there. And I stated, Sheryl Swoopes, you being the legend that you are, nobody's trying to discredit you or anything, but we're trying to get you to understand that you have to embrace what's coming into the league, embrace what's happening to the league, embrace that you have a star being able to even get viewership to the league like this. Sheryl Swoopes, here's the truth. Believe it or not, Caitlin Clark has got you, I'm sure, plenty of viewers to your show, your podcast, and all that good stuff. So I'm sure, when you're going to sleep at night, I'm sure you're over there like, oh my God, thank you, Caitlin Clark, because all those little negative hate comments and everything, that helps your podcast. So I just think that Sheryl Swoopes is gonna have to come out one day and let it be known, like, I don't know if she's ever gonna apologize, but look, if you're gonna hate on Clark, let it be known. Stand on business. I'm not fucking with Caitlin Clark. Let it be known then. But don't try to be like trying to cover your steps up and trying to say this and all that. I'm not going for that, and I'm sure the people aren't at this point. So as you can see, Stephen A., one of the biggest in the game, calling you out on your bullshit. You got somebody like him calling you out, Sheryl Swoopes, someone that nobody's talked about in the past 15 years of basketball. It's not a good look, and it's not for the right reasons. So I would definitely take a look at yourself and reevaluate the whole situation. And if you're going to stand on business like that, if you're not going to support white women in the game, let it be known. That's it, man. That's it. And for everybody else who's hating on Clark, I just don't understand what she did to you guys. That's why it's so eye-opening, because what did Caitlin Clark do to you guys? Does anybody have an answer for that? Besides come out and compete. Yeah, she's going to hold her ground out there. But what does she do to deserve these negative comments and not being spoken about when it comes to the Indiana Fever? She is the Indiana Fever. Yeah, she has assets that are doing their job and doing great and excelling and playing at a speed that they probably never played at before. A pace, I should say. So besides that, man, I could go on and on, but that's really all I got for today. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Shout out to Stephen A. and his show. Shout out for keeping it real. Shout out for calling out Swoopes on the bullshit. I think it's time that everybody, let it be known, like, look, man, there's no need for the hate. We can grow this thing together. Because without the girl that you guys hating on, shit, it's just going to be the same old WNBA. Same old sinking business, non-profitable business for the past 20 years since it started. And, yeah, that's really all I got to say about it, man. Look, besides that, welcome to Game Day. I appreciate you guys. If you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. If you guys are returning, welcome back. I'll be dropping a couple segments. We got huge games today. We got the Aces. And then tomorrow, I think we got Fever back in action, and Chicago Sky back in action. So I'll definitely be updating you guys with a lot of content here. Stay tuned. I appreciate you guys for subbing up, liking, and commenting on the videos. Besides that, I'm gonna catch you guys on the next one. It's your boy ceokana. Yeah.